Okay, so I just thought I would put together something a little quick here this morning. As you can see, I'm just on her bareback, and there's a couple of reasons that I like to do that from time to time. One is that it's just, I find with her that to have a day where it's, we're still doing something, but we're not kind of in full tack, and it's not necessarily like a workout type of day, but still working on things and still maintaining what we're doing, but just to have a day where it's a little less of what we would normally work on, and just a bit of a change. Also for her and horses like this that tend to be a little touchy and a little sensitive sometimes, I find that it's really helpful that they really kind of feel the rider, without the saddle. And that can be beneficial in the ones that are a little bit ticklish and a little touchy and a little sometimes, hesitant about what you're doing with them. And it's just one more thing to add to their abilities. If you can't really ride them bareback too well, that's not going to be beneficial for them. But if you can ride them in a way that doesn't bother them, then it's a nice addition to what you're working on. And we can still work on a lot of what we're doing, that's kind of working on the suppleness and the strength and the understanding and the balance and all of that. And it's nothing really different, just maybe not quite as involved sometimes. But it's maybe a little bit of a partial day off type of thing without really having a day off. So we can still work on stuff without feeling like we're stuck in a work meeting type of idea. And so I just thought I would touch a little bit too on what we've talked about recently, the conversations we've been having, and my feeling with her, I keep going back to, I think it's just a lot of her not really wanting to be pressured, and I don't mean pressure in the sense of being strong, but what she feels pressure in the sense of like putting the girth on or whatever she is a little bit out of the ordinary or a little bit uncomfortable for her, where she gives a bit of a reaction to. So if you think back to when you first dropped her off with the brushes and stuff that you had for using on different areas of her, and because she didn't like certain brushes in certain spots and all of that, and now you can groom her with just run the shedding blade over her, and there's no reaction there. So it was kind of taking that very small pressure from the brushes, and she's kind of just grown through that now where it doesn't bother her. Also, that one time when you were here and I was doing some of the Masterson method type touches on her and the reactions that she was having, now for the most part that is all good. So to me it's just something that's new for her, something that she's not familiar with, something that maybe she deems as a little bit too much, even though it's very little. But she's quite sensitive to those things, so if we just work through them, then generally it just kind of goes away on its own. The leg aids, when we first started riding, was a big deal for her, even though they weren't, again, not necessarily strong or what we would think of as being strong, but it was just a lot for her. And now as we progress into a little bit more of the riding, where we're starting to work a bit more on bend and a little bit kind of making the bend and the sideways movements, the leg yields and whatnot a little bit better, with a little bit more expectation on them. Not perfect by any means, but just kind of working a little bit into cleaning them up and making them better. And sometimes that's where she has a sticky spot. The girthing thing that we talked about, again, what I typically do is put the saddle on. Even while I'm brushing her, I'll just put my hand up under the girth and put a bit of pressure there and rub it along by her flanks just to see what her reaction is like today, because it varies day to day. It's all over the place. She's a little bit sometimes like going on a first date every day. You're not really sure. You kind of got to get to know her again because she keeps changing the rules. But just kind of seeing where she's at, and then put the saddle on, do the girth up to the point where it's just kind of touching her, but it's not tight. It's tight enough that if she moves, the saddle's not going to go anywhere. Sometimes she'll have a little bit of a reaction, and I mean, it's just like a little twitch or a little look or, kind of a tail swish to say, I don't feel like getting dressed right now. And then if you give her a minute or two and then walk her around and then just do it up to where you would do it up to ride, there's no reaction at all. So I kind of don't really think that it's a pain thing. It's just a little bit more of her tolerance to what she feels like accommodating at whatever moment in time that is today, or could change again tomorrow or whatever. But so for the most part, I think that's kind of my read on that. She certainly has her opinions about things. She's not an easy horse in the sense that you can't just push the buttons and she goes and does it. She doesn't make things super simple. I quite like her, but she can be difficult. She can make things challenging, while she is quite capable of a lot. But again, we got to also keep in mind that she's very young and immature, and there's a lot of that stuff will just go away with age and experience as well. So we're just kind of working on making the things that we had initially started, just kind of working on improving those little bit by little bit. Walk, trot, canter, the bend, really kind of following our body position around, helping her understand not to run through the hand. If she gets a little bit frustrated or a little bit uncertain, she can get strong in the hand and kind of just want to pull through. So just helping her find the balance there, and really just working on the rideability. Coming into this corner here where the camera is usually the corner where all the stuff gets piled. So it's changing day to day. There's stuff in different places. There's new stuff there. There's stuff missing, and she notices all of that. So just working on her rideability in the moments when she's a little bit distracted, getting her attention to come back to us, which is getting better and better. But there are moments when she'll just sort of block you out, and if there's something that she's a little bit more concerned with. So again, just working on being able to get access to her attention while she's distracted, and working through those moments, and start to really sort of work on her ability to bend around our seat and put a little bit more focus into what she's doing physically, and just pay attention to what we're doing, check in. Atta girl. So on the days when it's a little bit of our maintenance type of day, again, we're just working on all the same stuff, her ability to regulate from the seat, to go forward, to come back, to bend. Nothing really fancy, and then oftentimes after a day of the bareback ride, if it all goes really well, then quite often when you're back with the tack on, there's a little bit more clarity in the work as well. Just you have the opportunity to kind of get a little closer to them when you're bareback and kind of work on, that's it. Yeah. Kind of work on those really, of her really feeling, yeah, good. Feeling the seat. Yep. That's it. So when I first started to do a little bit more of the forward sideways type work, when I would step her, let's say, from the right to the left here, and she would want to then just push through the left shoulder. So if I use the rein or my outside aids to slow the shoulder down, there was a lot of resistance there as well, because she just sort of wanted to go sideways, but quickly go sideways and kind of push through. That's it. So going back to what I was talking about earlier, that was kind of the next stage of, there you go, the next level of her having to deal with a little different type of pressure. And she wasn't very happy about that for a while, and it's starting to come better and better now. So it's just as we move up, we level up a little bit in the work, things become a little bit more complicated sometimes. And then there's pressure in a different way or a different area that she's not quite sure of. Yep, that's it. That's it, there you go. That she starts to get a little frustrated and kind of pushes back against that a little. Yeah. Yep, that's right. Yep, that's right. She gets distracted by that corner. So here we got her attention back, which is nice. Good. Yeah. So like I said, when we kind of move forward a little bit into different areas of work, then there's moments where it's a little bit harder for her to understand, and she pushes back against it. But as she gets better and better at dealing with and working through the lower level stuff, the lower level pressures and the understanding, then it becomes easier and clearer and quicker to her as we increase the work a little bit in the other direction. Yeah, good. Good. And sometimes she's not super big on change, which is something that she's kind of learning to contend with more as well. So for example, in the mornings, super. In the morning before my wife goes to work, she comes out and helps me turn out the horses. And the way that it works right now, when she comes out, Tina is the first horse that she turns out. And sometimes when she goes in the stall in the morning to put the halter on, she's a little bit cranky and gets a little bit wanting to be a bit pushy with Tracy. So she's always, she's kind of checking and testing, and Tracy's, that's really the only time during the day that she interacts with Tracy. So, and she's wanting to go out. So, she's a little anxious to get outside and whatnot. But it's just an interesting dynamic sometimes to see how she reacts a little bit to things that are different, And that's just a little bit the way she is. We just kind of got to work through it. So it's really important to kind of stay up and be aware of those behaviors that she exhibits from time to time. Like we had talked about, I think we talked about a long time ago, like even, for example, going in the stall in the morning to feed her or take her out, if she kind of approaches you and walks into you a little bit, doesn't have to be aggressively or anything, but she just kind of crowds your space, it's important to just ask her to step back and then go to her and put the halter on or move her away from where the feed bowl is, and then put the feed in so that she doesn't get kind of in the habit of pushing into you and stealing that space from you or taking food from you. That's it. Here I'm bending her a little bit to the left and stepping the haunches around. So just curving my body a little bit more to the left and having her follow that and trying as lightly as I can to step the hindquarters around the shoulders on the circle. And it really just kind of, she has to focus on that. She's got her ears back on me. She's listening. And I'm not trying to make a big movement out of it. If she gets a little stuck, I don't want to just kick her in the ribs with my leg and, get a reaction. I'm just trying as light as I can with as little movement so I can just curve her through the rib cage, through my seat and my rib cage, slow the front end down if I need to, use the reins in a way that helps her understand that, but try not to hold her. That's it. Let's go slower. Yes. Yeah, that's it. And then a little bit of a half pass to the wall. Slow. Yeah, slow. That's it. So these are kind of our bareback sort of days. It's really slow and low key, sometimes fairly concentrated. I wouldn't say, I shouldn't say this is what we do when we ride the bareback days, but we spend a lot more time just in the walk, maybe some trot sometimes, but really not that often. So it's just kind of a day of mental mathematics. Yeah. And a little bit more concentrated thinking at the walk. We do all of this under saddle too, of course, but right. Yeah. Yeah. And she gets a little, because I'm trying to pick up that right shoulder, she wants to sort of just drop it down and push through. And she's like, come on. Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's it. Shh. Slow down. Yep. I might put a little more bend in my body here and increase the difficulty level a little bit. And we'll work through it. Yeah. And you can see she's kind of trying to pull down on my hand. She's trying to get a little bit out of where it's a little bit harder. That's it. There's a big breath. She's like, this guy is such an idiot. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Now see if I can bring the left shoulder with us. Yep. Slow down. Hindquarters, shoulder, hindquarters. Yeah. So when we get into those moments where it becomes a little bit more focused and a little bit more mental, it's difficult, but it's a really, good. It's a good way to really kind of increase the mental side of it a little bit. Yeah, let's bring everything up here and slow it, and up, and slow, and up, and slow, and slow, but active. Yeah. Yeah. Think. Slow down. Slow down. Yeah. Super. And just helping her find not new, but just working more into working the body in a little different way for short stretches, so we can start to really access different areas of her body. And it doesn't matter if we got a saddle on or what, but so here I'm just going to ask her to bring the hindquarters underneath a little bit and slow the front end, but bring the front end up from the shoulders. And she wants to kind of push through my hands, so I'm just going to vibrate a little on the rein, keep my seat moving. Yep, keep my seat moving. Feel like I'm kind of drawing her up under my seat a little bit. Get some activity here. Not let her push through my right rein, my right leg. Keep walking with my seat. Yeah, just balancing with the hand and then giving. Don't run through. Keep walking. Walk with the seat. Right shoulder. Walk with the seat. Right shoulder. Yeah. Now I'm going to keep some activity here until I get her ears to come back. She's really focused on the camera there, and I got a couple of pylons on the floor right by the gate that weren't there yesterday. So I'm just going to keep working here. I'm not going to tighten up on her and give her something to brace into, but we're just going to keep walking through. There we go. Walking through. Super. Walking through. Slow down. Yep. That's it. That's it. That's it. Good. In those moments of difficulty when she's like that, if we brace in our body as she starts to brace, we're just going to give her something to lean into even more. If I can keep my body loose, keep breathing slow and deep, and walk with my seat, there we go, that's it. So if I can keep kind of encouraging her body to follow my seat and relax, I don't have to then push with my legs and try to drive her through those moments. Today it's that corner, but this could be any situation. I'm going to keep walking, and she wants to kind of get into a tug of war. She's like, come on, let's argue a little bit. And I'm just going to keep softening with the hands. So if my hands have to get quick and short, that's okay. Just move them, loosen them, move them, loosen them. Keep my seat moving. Keep walking. And I'm just kind of riding to the camera with my body. So I'm just going to pick that line that I'm riding to. Now a bird showed up on the wall there. Aha, that's it. And we're going to walk through the corner slow. So if you remember too, in the beginning, we talked about when she got into uncomfortable situations, whether it be in the groundwork or going over something or through something, she would kind of wind her courage up to a point and then just sort of blast through whatever it was she was pushing through, that threshold where her comfort zone was. So now just trying to not pull her and hold her and squeeze her into staying with me, but trying to walk her, you know, in this case through that corner, just trying to walk with my seat bones, regulate her gait, keep her up here, keep her active, and not just feel like I'm kind of like, ooh, and pushing her through the corner and hoping for the best. I'd rather her not buck in this corner today, bareback, and buck me off on the camera. And here she is too strong on the right hand. Actually, I'm going to walk her into the right rein with my seat. Now I'm going to bring the right shoulder over and bend her to the right a little bit through my seat. Keep walking. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, yeah. Stay with me. Yeah, that's it. And walk. And walk. Right. Bend a little bit to the right here. Ah, yeah. Not getting, that's it. Not getting too, really trying to stay away from the conversation of bend her around your leg, you know, bend her around that inside leg. I just want to melt her around my seat. So bend her body through the position, there you go, through the position of my seat, my rib cage, my shoulders. Keep my seat moving so she doesn't just, I don't create some stiffness and get her to lock up. I'm going to sit a little bit this way. That's it. That'll happen. Good. And that's a lot of concentration on her coming through that corner or through that little exercise there. She was really focused on me. So then when something kind of, yeah, a bird come up in the stall there or whatever, it kind of just, there's a movement there. Right. But she goes through, yeah. We're just going to play here. I'm just going to lead with my right hip this way. Keep my seat moving. Not really push with the leg, just trying to use the movement of my seat to keep her moving. Yeah, both ears are on me. She's really concentrated and focused. I'm going to ask the shoulders to come a little bit up with my lower leg. Keep my seat moving. Maybe walk on the spot a little bit. Yeah. If I tip forward from here, I might be able to get a bit of a rein back on the spot. Super. And walk forward. Yeah. And then we're going to walk out. So we take those moments again to really dial her into our seat. It's really focused. It's focused on our part too, because you really have to be paying attention and be aware. And this is the thing about horses like her. The more she has an understanding of what it is that she is doing, or what we're asking her to do, she's smart enough to take it in either direction. She can play you and take advantage of you, or she can slowly in time just buy into understanding what you're saying and believing that what you're saying is got some value to it and worth following. So it's nice that way. She's also sensitive enough that as she gets better at her job, we have to get better at our job, because her tolerance level for sloppiness, as she gets better and better, her tolerance level for that is going to go lower and lower. That's the really nice thing about these horses. It's also the very frustrating thing about these horses. Yeah. Is that one day they can make you feel like you could go ride at the Olympics, and the next day they'll make you feel like you couldn't ride a stick horse around the house. Good girl. That's it. Good. So just kind of letting this walk kind of swing and feel balanced and not rushy. Just seeing if I can move my hips a little bit and make the walk a touch longer, but not push her out of her rhythm. Let the neck want to fall down if she so chooses. Work the shoulders around the left shoulder. That's it. And just walking and just going with this walk. I got a little bit quick there, so I'm just going to swing a little bit back with my seat. There we go. And slow it just a touch. Find some balance again. Super. And coming through the corner that time, I just kind of kept that loose feeling in my body and just let the hands come forward in rhythm with the walk. And yeah, her ears were momentarily, she focused on that corner there, but I didn't really do anything to kind of bring her attention back to me. And then she felt rideable and with me and soft coming through that corner. So I didn't really want to get too worked up about getting an ear to come back to me, because the rest of the picture felt quite nice. So here I'm just going to let my hands come forward. She feels good underneath of me. Her ears go soft. Now she just checked in. So we got to pick those moments too. If it feels like she's going into these situations under some tension and she's worried and stressed and she's not with us, then we can do something, do something to get an ear back on us or get something to happen. But we also have to allow in those moments when she's just noticing something, but the rest of her is with us, that we can't nitpick too much all the time. And then we risk creating an issue the other way. Super. And if I can just give my hands like that, in those moments when I can just push, in rhythm with the shoulder, right, left, right, left, right, left, and just give her a little bit more freedom in the front, or even just give her the feeling that there's no restriction in the front. We can ride it from the body. So if I turn this direction here with my body and just give the reins, they're still there, but they're not really controlling. I can just maybe ride a circle here more from the position of my body. Always keeping the seat moving in those moments when she comes back, so that we don't stop the seat and then she just braces behind. That's it. And just turning. Good. Now I'm going to straighten my shoulders here and ride towards F. Good. When I get to F, I'll try to ride a circle to the right. Don't know if I can, but I'll try. So I'm going to start turning to the right here. So my aim is to ride the body into the turn in balance. That's it. And then the head is the last thing that comes into the turn, so that I'm not pulling her around by her face. Keeping in mind we're only 5 months in or something, but here she's falling in, so I'm going to sit a little to the left, sorry. She's getting a little too strong. come up. Right shoulder, left. Thank you. And then we'll go again. So just help her find some balance, and then we'll try again. So I'm going to support her a little bit with my right thigh and my right knee, and ride a little bit over her left shoulder, and bend. And this was, she had a little bit of difficulty. I'm going to push, see if I can step the left hind underneath and get the right shoulder. That's it. Left hind. So I'm going to sit on the left hind, pick up, yeah, the right shoulder. She's like, man, this is confusing. Yeah. Right shoulder, left hind. Right, yep. That's it, that's it. That's it. Focus. Yep, yep. That's it. Now right shoulder. I know it's hard. Right shoulder. Right shoulder. Yep, yes. Right shoulder. Yep, that's it. There you go. Yep. Yeah. A little bit of a travers feeling if I can, just to kind of polish up that little bit of that last move. Yeah, we'll take it a little further. Yeah, I know. Keep my seat moving. Keep my seat relaxed. Keep moving. I know. Keep moving. Yeah. So here I feel like I'm leading her this way with my right hip. That's it. Yep. Yeah. I know it's hard. You got it. You got it. Now I'm going to take the hindquarters around. And a renvers feeling. Yeah. She's like, you are such a jackass. Good. And now the shoulders to the left. I know, you got it. There you go. Good girl. So we're just pushing into a little bit more of this stuff now, where we're not walk trotting, cantering for miles and miles and miles, trying to make a dressage horse out of her, keeping in mind again her age. So trying not to stress the body every day, so that we don't want to create problems down the road, but we can start introducing and push into those comfort areas more and more, so that also we don't create problems down the road. Because now is a good time for her to start really learning how to use her brain. I mean, at this age, learning how to learn, learning how to think, learning how to problem solve. So we're just trying to balance those moments of around the arena working, walk, trot, canter type stuff. We still have to work on improving that too, of course, but the better we get her body positioning and her body control and her ability to manage her emotions, that also makes the walk, trot, canter stuff better, because her body moves in a, don't run, don't rush. Thank you. Because then her body's also moving in a way that facilitates the walk, trot, canter being better. Nope, too strong. Come back. Good. That's it. Good girl. Good. Yeah. Good. Been difficult to get them out much, because it seems like winter's never going to leave. I think it's supposed to snow again this afternoon. Maybe one day winter will leave. Good boy, good girl. That's it. Yep. Yep. Thank you. That's it. Yep. Good, good. So as much as she has her moments where there's difficulties, and that's okay. That's just, That's just what she is. We just kind of keep working on improving those things. Like I said, she doesn't like to make things too easy, but I really like her. But I will say that if you would have waited till she was 5 or 6 to start her, it wouldn't have been that pleasant of an experience, I don't think. She would have had that much longer to kind of get settled into her routine and her mindset on things, and I think it would have been quite a challenge for sure. All right. So I just thought I would show you a little bit of what we've been kind of touching on. I know you're coming at the end of the week and we can ride her then, but I had the camera set up and I'm just trying to make some videos for this stuff right now. So yeah, just thought I would include her as well. So good. I will see you soon and I'll talk to you later.